Shay and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to episode 2 of the Moving Diaries. So I am, as I'm sure you can tell by the background, I am in the new house. So in the last episode, recap in case you missed it, go back and watch it if you haven't seen it already. But a quick recap, we moved all the stuff out of the old house into storage because this house was not ready until literally yesterday. So it has been 2 weeks since we moved out of the old house. We have been in an extended stay hotel for the last couple of weeks. And although I'm very grateful to have had a roof over our head and a place to stay, it was pretty miserable. I didn't really love it. And I was hoping that it was going to give me like summer vacation vibes. And I was going to be like, oh, we're staying in a hotel. We're going to go to the pool. We're going to go and explore, eat at new restaurants, yada, yada, yada. None of that happened. That was not the experience that we had. So I am so thankful to finally be in the house. So today, what is on the agenda? We already got the moving truck. So that was on the list and we got the moving truck. We got all of the things from the hotel and some of the things from the first storage. So that's crossed off the list. We ended up with 3 storages total. I don't know if I ever said that. I was like, I'm hoping at the beginning of the last video, I'll insert the clip here. Like last time, like when we moved to the city, we had to rent 2 of the largest storage units in order to store all of our things. So this time, even if we can get it down to 1 storage unit, I will be a happy girl. Yeah, I was like, I'm hoping to get it down to 1 storage and we ended up with 3. And so we need to get the stuff out of the second storage today because the first one is it's mostly unloaded. We just have some shelves left. So we're going to get the stuff out of the second storage. And then that's all we're going to do today. And then tomorrow we're going to go and get the stuff out of the third storage. It's my hope that we have everything here by tomorrow, but tomorrow LT has a double at work. And so I don't necessarily know that he's going to have the energy to do it. I anticipate that we will at least have everything in here by this weekend. I'm hoping that we have it done before then, but if we don't, I'm trying to set my expectations low so that I don't feel overwhelmed by not, like when you set your expectations and then things don't meet those expectations and you feel stressed out because of a self-imposed expectation, I'm trying to let all of that go. I'm trying to go with the flow. We're here. We have time to settle in to make this our home. So in this episode of the Moving Diaries, we are going to move the stuff into this house. I'll be giving you updates as we go, brainstorming about where things might go, getting y'all's feedback on where we should put things. I'm going to show you some of the spaces in this. I didn't do an empty house tour. There are already a bunch of things behind me, as I'm sure you can tell. So you won't see it empty, but I'll show you some of the spaces, tell you what I'm thinking. I'll let you give me feedback in the comments below. And then in the next episode, the third episode of the Moving Diaries, that'll be unpacking, putting everything away and trying to make it homier. And then the last episode, which will come in a couple weeks. So this week's episode is the moving in. Next week's episode is the unpacking. And then the final episode will hopefully be setting the library up together. So that's kind of what's on the agenda for today. That's kind of what's on the agenda for the next couple weeks of the moving vlogs. And then I'm hoping to be able to film like resets and things like that in the space as we really get settled and get going. So right now I am going to we just got this stuff inside and I was like, I didn't film any of that. So I will take you guys to the storage. We'll get that all loaded up. We're going to work on that today and then I'll catch up with you after that. are starting to bring in my bookshelves and I don't know what I want to do with them. And so I figured I would turn on the camera and tell y'all what I'm thinking and get some feedback. So let me flip the camera and we'll go into the room and then I'll show you what I can see and tell you what I'm thinking. So this is when you are at the doorway. And so I'm thinking that there's a bookshelf in the way right there for you to see, but there are 3 windows that are in this corner. And my thought is that what if I put my library chair in this corner? It's really big, so I'll show y'all when it gets in here. But my library chair in that corner, and then maybe a large shelf there, depending on what will fit. And then on this wall over here, I'm thinking maybe 1 large, 1 small, and then the majority of the shelves will go on this wall. This is the one that has nothing on it. So I don't know. I'm gonna let them bring the other ones up and then try a configuration and then film to see what y'all think. Okay, so I have more shelves in here now, so hopefully I can show you what I'm thinking. So on this wall over here, in between the 2 windows, I have the 2 small ones there, and I'm thinking about putting a large one in between those. And that will be that whole wall, small, large, small. And then nothing in this corner over here. Nope, this way. There's a window here. There are windows here. So where this shelf is in the middle, give me a second, I'll walk back and actually show you. Large bookshelf here. There's a window here, a window back behind this one, and a window here. So I think I'm going to move this, obviously. And then my library chair will go here, extending this way, which will block these a little bit. It won't be a big deal. And then over in this corner, I have a large and an angled small here. And then that leaves us with the back wall. So the angled small there, and then a large, and then small, large, small, large. And then I think that's all that will fit. If you have a different configuration, if you saw this and thought, oh, I know what will be perfect, tell me, because I will post this video before I anchor them, so they will still be able to be moved. But that's like tentatively, that's what I'm thinking for now. Okay, I'm loving this so far. So this temporary, like I had to edit today. And so that's just like a TV tray set up with my computer right now. So that's gonna move out of here. I actually have another room that I think we're gonna make the offices, but right now, I say offices because it will be mine and LT's, like the joint office, shared office space or whatever. But anyway, but I'm loving how it's turning out so far. So it'll be the 3 on this side between these 2 windows, and then it will be my library chair, which is in here now, and you can see how it fits. I'm thinking I want to build just a little something simple table to go right here so I can like rest books on it and, you know, my tea or, you know, whatever to go in that little corner / put plants and stuff on it. So that will fill in that awkward square. And then over here, there will be a big on that wall right there next to the windowsill. And then this small, and then the bigs will go in between to fill out this whole wall. I actually don't know how many bigs and smalls I have because I'm realizing I think this is the biggest library I've had, which is good because I'm running out of space on my shelves. And so I was going to get another shelf for another room, but now I have a bigger library so they can all go in here. And so I'm so excited about that. But I think that's the shelf setup that we're going with. And so far I'm like obsessed with how it's turning out. Okay, welcome back to day 3 of moving. I am in the library right now and we are about to start unloading the books or the shelves, I think first, and then definitely the shelves first and then the books. So I have all but one of the shelves that I currently own in here, but because of the size of the room, this is actually the largest library I've ever had. I think because the last one was downstairs in what would traditionally be like a formal dining room in the house, it felt like the biggest one I'd had because it was open to like the downstairs. So it kind of flowed into the living room and the other spaces. And so it felt like I had a lot more space than I had ever had before, but I actually think it might have been the smallest library I'd had. It was just more open. This is definitely the biggest. So I need 2 large of the white Billy bookcases in order to fill this space, which is nice because I've gotten to the point with my bookshelves where everything has to sit not stylistic at all. Like it just has to sit next to each other on the bookshelves for everything to fit. And I would rather be able to design them and have some laying down and some standing up and, you know, like a plant on a shelf or, you know, things like that. And I don't have space to do that right now. And so I'm going to put together the shelves I have. I'm going to get the books up on those shelves in order to kind of see where we are. And then later on this week, I'll go and get the last 2 of the shelves in here. And then I'll start worrying about what I want it to look like stylistically, but I'll show you what I have so far. So what I have on this wall so far is this one back here is a large shelf, and then a small, and then a large, and then a small. And I have one more small. So I'm going to essentially wait to put that in here because it'll be a large next, and then a small, and then a large, and that will complete this whole wall. And then on the side that you are sitting on, it's a small, large, small between the 2 windows. And then that's the completion of where the bookshelves will go. We have plants behind this like stack of shelves. And then I think I'm going to put all of my like art and stuff on that wall when you enter into here. My clothes will go into my closet in my bedroom, but right now my mom is here and she is helping me by doing some laundry, and my dogs are in my bedroom because my mom is allergic. So this is the temporary storage situation. So without further ado, as you can tell, I don't like this part. I like putting the books on, but I don't like putting the shelves in, like doing the little like metal pieces and putting the shelves on. So we're going to do that first. I think the section of 3 that's on this side, I think that's going to be my rainbow romance wall. I don't know that it will even fit all of my romances, but however many it will fit, I'm just going to do rainbow romance on this wall. So I think I'm going to start with that side. I think I'm going to put shelves up, put books up if I can on that side before I get to this side, which will be every other genre. I think I'm going to organize it by genre and then size within the genre, because I don't want, if I do it by alphabetical by author, then it is going to not look as nice. Like it won't look as clean, I don't think. My overall long-term plan is that I want to color drench this room in like a darker color and then make these look like built-ins with the arches and everything. And so I think long-term that's what I'm going to do. So right now I just want it to be passable, I guess. And then once it's passable, I'll go in and make it prettier later. So let's put some shelves together.